there and welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Karen.
Yes, you are. And I'm very glad to see you, Karen. It's been a long time.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
No, we rarely ever work together, and in fact, we rarely see each other.
How long has it been? Has it been like 20 years or something?
20 years, that might be a long, 20 months? Almost 2 years?
I think definitely more than 20 months. At least like 5 years.
Oh my God, wow.
But I have to say that you haven't really aged.
Oh, well, thank you. I put a special sauce on my face every night when I go to sleep. But you also are looking younger than ever. I think you're, what, back in junior high school, senior high school now?
You are way too nice.
Time is moving backwards for you. So it's always nice to see old friends catch up on exciting news and things that might have happened to you. But I guess in the last 2 years, nothing really has happened to anybody. We've all been staying at home because of COVID.
Exactly.
But anyways, we can catch up on our family, friends, what we've been doing. So After 20 Years is actually the title of our article, and it's also about 2 old friends who are meeting after a long time.
Just like us.
Just like us, but I think this story has a more surprising ending. So yeah, hopefully what happens at the end of this story doesn't happen to either of us anytime soon. You'll see what I mean when we get into the story. So
I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right.
A police officer was on the street one night. He saw a strange man outside a clothes store and went up to him. Before he said a word, the man started talking.
All right, so as we mentioned, the title of our story for today and the next 3 days actually is After 20 Years. So yeah, this is something that you might say to a friend or be thinking about a friend that you haven't seen in a long time. And of course, if you haven't seen someone for 20 years, that's a really long time.
And sometimes you probably can't recognize them anymore because people do change.
That's right. And after 20 years, people might change a lot. So we're talking about 20 years going by from when you saw someone to when you see them again. That is a long time. So let's check out our story, see what it's all about. It begins by telling us, ooh, this is a little mysterious. It says, a police officer was on the street one night. I thought it would be 2 friends meeting in a restaurant or, you know, something at a happy reunion. But
so
no,
I guess it's not going to be like that.
A police officer on the street one night.
And he saw a strange man outside a closed store and went up to him. Strange man. So when you say someone is strange, I guess you're saying that they are a little bit weird, not normal, right?
Yeah, well, if you saw someone standing outside a closed store in the middle of the night, you might think, well, they're not shopping, the store is closed. And this is something a police officer might be quite interested in, you know, finding out what's going on. Are you just standing here, or are you planning to steal something or break into the store? Because, of course, that's what police officers do. They stop crime. When we think of a police officer, we could, of course, say policeman or policewoman, but using the word police officer, that covers anyone. This is the person we see often in a uniform. They might have a gun. They might be wearing kind of blue clothes or gray clothes and a hat, one of those cars with the lights on top, and they will stop you, especially if they see crime out on the street or if they're sent out to catch a criminal, someone who has done a crime. We also might call a police officer a cop. Right? That's kind of a casual, especially North American term. I saw a cop, I saw a police officer. For example, we could say this morning, I saw a police officer on a motorcycle chasing a car down the street.
That sounds dangerous.
It was very exciting.
So he was chasing probably someone who committed a crime.
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very exciting, just like a movie.
That's right. Very exciting. Okay, and the next vocabulary word we have is actually very easy and we hear it all the time, and it's outside. So when you are outside, obviously you're not inside, you're outdoor, right?
Exactly.
So you can say that I see a little puppy outside.
Okay, yeah. You know you're outside if you look up and you see the sky and not a ceiling or lights or something over your head. You're outside or out of doors.
You are right.
Outdoors, we might also say. And then we had this adjective closed. Here, the store was closed, but anything that's closed basically means you can't go in. If a door is closed, you have to open the door. You might actually need a key to open that door. But if we're talking about a business being closed, like a store or something like that, basically we mean this is the time when the business is not working. The workers are at home, it's late at night, the store is locked, the lights are off, whatever you want to buy in there, you can't buy now because the store is closed.
And in our story, it says that the man was standing in front of the closed store, right?
Exactly.
But I wonder what that strange man is doing.
I don't know. And of course, if the store is closed, it's probably safe for us to guess that it's probably late at night, early in the morning, 11 p.m., 1 a.m., because that's often when stores are closed. Or depending on the day, for example, we could say, I went to the store, but it was a Sunday, so the store was closed.
You are right.
Yeah, stores sometimes are closed on Sunday.
And in the next part of our story, it says, before he said a word, the man started talking.
Okay, so the police officer walks up, sees this man, and before the police officer can say anything, the man's standing there, he starts talking. Is he nervous?
Maybe.
See, I'm just standing here, officer. I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to break into the store and steal all the money and run away and take it with me. I'm not going to do that.
If he feels nervous, he's probably committed some crime, right?
Yeah, but we do know the man is the one talking, right?
That's right. And start is our next vocabulary word, and that is a verb. So when you start something, that means to begin something, right? Like I'm starting a conversation with you.
Okay.
Right? Or the class is about to start.
Okay, get to school. If a class is going to start, you want to be there because if you get there after it starts, you will be late.
That's
you
right.
You could be in trouble with the police officer. Well, no, not with just with the teacher. It would be a small problem. All right, well, we have a small problem. We have to take a break right now, but the good thing is we will be back very, very soon to find out what's going on with this man and the store late at night.
Ooh, see you later.
The man said,
"It's all right, officer. I'm just waiting for my good friend Jimmy Wells. We made a date to meet here 20 years ago."
Then he lit his cigar. From the light, the officer could see the man better. He had a little white scar near his right eye. He was also well dressed.
Okay, so it's late at night. A man is standing in front of a store, but the store is closed. So he's not there shopping, and that's a little strange. And so a police officer walking by, well, he noticed this, and he wants to make sure that there's nothing bad going on here. So as the police officer walked up to the man started speaking. Well, what did he say? And it says next in our article, the man said, "It's all right, officer. I'm just waiting for my good friend Jimmy Wells. We made a date to meet here 20 years ago." So this is what the man says. I guess he can kind of understand that if the officer sees him, looks at him funny, walks up to him, the man is thinking this officer thinks I'm a bad guy, so he wants to know why I'm here. And that's why the man basically said why he's there before the officer could ask him any questions.
So he's not a bad guy, right? Because he's
That's
kind of
right.
just saying that, you know what, I'm not doing anything here. I'm just meeting my friend, so he's not a bad guy, right?
Well, as far as we know, that's true. But when he says, "It's all right, officer," that's basically the same way he might say, "Don't worry, officer. There's no trouble here, nothing for you to be worried or nervous about." And he explained, "I'm here to meet my friend Jimmy Wells." I don't know why he says his name, but anyways, Jimmy Wells might be a famous person or something. But he also explains that they met here 20 years ago. So this is kind of what we would call a reunion, a
That's
meeting
right.
of old friends. And it's kind of interesting that they were actually in that same place 20 long years ago.
Maybe it's like a high school reunion or something.
It could be.
Right?
Who knows? We're going to find out more about that. And then once the man explains to the police officer why he's there, it says, then he lit his cigar. So the man was standing there, and he's a smoker. He's someone who likes to smoke. In this case, he lit a cigar, not a cigarette. Cigars are those big brown kind of smelly stinky things,
and more expensive
and
as well.
Very expensive. Have you ever smoked a cigar?
Never. I don't really like the smell.
I tried once, but it took a long time, and I didn't really like it after a while. So don't smoke cigars. It's just not good for you, and they are expensive. But if you use fire to begin a fire in any way, lighting a cigar, lighting a barbecue, lighting a campfire, we would use that verb to light or lit. He lit a cigar. The present tense would be light a cigar, or light a campfire, light a barbecue,
candle,
something like that, or light a candle. Exactly. So yeah, you could say, for example, the power went out in my house, so I went around lighting candles so I could see. I didn't light a cigar though.
You didn't light the cigar. Good idea, or else it'd be very stinky.
Yeah, I don't want to sit in the dark smoking. That's just weird.
Exactly. Okay, in the next part of our story though, okay,
Sorry.
Put out your cigar. In the next part of our story, it says, from the light, the officer could see the man better. Okay. He had a little white scar near his right eye. He was also well dressed. Well. So now the officer can actually see the man all right in a brighter light,
That's
right?
From the match lighting the cigar.
That's right. And then, but he sees a little white scar.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guess that doesn't really mean anything, right? Having a
Maybe.
little white scar near your eye has nothing to do with you being a good guy or a bad guy.
No, not necessarily, but a scar is something that might tell you exactly who that person is, because someone who looks like them might not have that scar.
Oh, you are right. Okay, and white is our next vocabulary word. White, like I'm wearing a white jacket.
Shoes,
okay,
yes.
not black, but white, very bright, right?
Yes.
And the next vocabulary word is scar, like we mentioned. Usually you get a scar after getting maybe a cut or maybe a little wound, and then when it's healing, you will have a little scar. Sometimes when the wound is it doesn't heal well, you would leave a scar for a very long time.
Absolutely. I have a little scar here. Can you see?
Oh, I
Right there,
actually see
a little
it.
white scar.
It is. You're like the man in the
Well,
story.
it's not near my eye, but
But
yeah,
it's on
I
your face.
fell off a bike when I was 4 years old.
And you still
And
have
I
a
still
scar.
have that little scar there. You see, but of course, if
Wow.
someone looked like me and you wanted to say, hey, is that Mike? You might say, oh, it's not. He doesn't have a scar there, right? So sometimes you can use a scar the same way you'd use a person's eye color or a tattoo.
That's
to
right.
kind of make sure it's that person. And of course, it also said another interesting thing about this man, this scar, and he's also well dressed.
Well dressed is our next adjective. When you say someone is well dressed, that means they dress nicely, right? Like I would say, you're well dressed.
It's just a t-shirt.
Okay, well, I'm well dressed.
You are well dressed, absolutely. If I think of a well dressed man, I'm kind of thinking of like a business suit.
Yes.
Right, with a tie.
Or like a nice vest,
You're
or
going out to a nice restaurant or a fancy party, you know, something like that. Not casual, not the clothes you'd wear to a beach, but the clothes you might wear to a nice wedding or something.
So when I think of someone who is well dressed, they're probably not a bad guy, right? Bad guys don't really dress nicely. Am I right?
I don't know. Rich bad guys do.
Oh, I guess you're right.
We don't know. But it's a good point. You wouldn't think that he's there to steal money, because if you're stealing money in your nice suit by breaking windows and climbing in places, that would be kind of weird.
So he might be doing other bad things.
He might be doing other kinds of bad things. But no, it doesn't look like he's a robber or a criminal. You know, he's standing there with his cigar and his nice clothes on. So the police officer is probably feeling this guy is not too dangerous. But we really don't know. So that's why you guys are going to have to come back and check out tomorrow's article.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
All right. See ya.
A police officer was on the street one night. He saw a strange man outside a closed store and went up to him. Before he said a word, the man started talking. The man said,
It's all right, officer. I'm just waiting for my good friend Jimmy Wells. We made a date to meet here 20 years ago.
Then he lit his cigar. From the light, the officer could see the man better. He had a little white scar near his right eye. He was also well dressed.
大家好，我是 Stephanie。今天呢，我们一起看单字。第一个呢是 police officer， 名词警察。The police officer is directing traffic， 警察正在指挥交通。第二个单字呢是介系词 outside， 在点点点外面。There is a tree outside my house， 我家外面有一棵树。第三个单字动词 light， 点燃。那它的三态呢是 light, lit, lit。Lit 的拼法呢是 L-I-T。The waitress lights the candles on our table。服务生点燃了我们桌子上的蜡烛。最后一个单字呢是形容词 white， 白色的。Wedding gowns are usually white。婚纱通常是白色的。接下来呢，我们一起看文法重点。第一个呢是 A goes up to B，A 走向 B， 像是 You should go up to Danny and say hi。你应该走过去跟 Danny 打招呼。那第二个重点呢是 A waits for B，A 等待 B。比如说 Sue waited for her friend in the cafe。Sue 在咖啡馆等她的朋友。句子里面的 wait， 因为它是不及物动词，所以后面必须加一个 for， 再接等待的人物。那中文里面是不是有一句谚语叫做时间不等人？英文里面也有哦，那就是 Time and tide wait for no man。那最后一个重点呢是 make a date， 约好见面，只和对方约定好时间地点要做某件事情。Date 呢在这边是可以表示单指相约，或者是男女的约会也可以。比如说 I made a date with an old friend for lunch。我相约一位老朋友共进午餐。好，那今天的讲解就到这里。See you。
Hi, I'm Steven.
And I'm Kim.
And today we're at Taipei Zoo and we're going to Bird World.
If you want to go to Bird World, you can go uphill by shuttle train.
It's only $5 NT and you can pay with Easy Card.
Let's go.
This large cage covers around 3,000 square meters. The birds inside can move and fly freely. There are feeding plates along the tourist walk, so you may watch the birds closely. You can see Taiwan's endemic birds here, including Taiwan blue magpie, Swinhoe's pheasant, and Mikado pheasant. Did you notice that the male birds are more colorful in general? That's because they have to draw the female's attention. However, with parrots, both males and females are bright colored. That's because they live in rainforests and need bright colors to scare away enemies. There's a display area of cranes. Don't confuse cranes with flamingos. They belong to different orders. Look at them. Don't they look like rock stars? They are gray-crowned cranes, the national bird of Uganda.
There are up to 1,200 birds in Taipei Zoo, from about 135 different species.
Most birds are easily frightened, so when you come to visit them, don't chase them or feed them.
Just keep calm and appreciate their beauty with love.
See you next time.